Assalamu alaikum, strong believers. This is Malik Pai. I'm hoping you guys are staying strong, staying safe, especially in this time of calamity that is upon us, this coronavirus, and it's a huge test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if we look at it from a positive point of view, yes, we are in lockdown, but we have a lot more time on our hands. Believe it or not, I truly believe it that you guys, myself and you, whoever, if you got the 9-to-5 job, you definitely have more time now that you're at home. Even if you're working from home, there's a lot of time that we're saving. We don't have to drive. We don't have to get on a bus or on a train to get to work. All that time that we're saving, we can create these habits in order to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, you've already got a lot of emails and your WhatsApp messages are probably going crazy talking about listen to this lecture, listen to that lecture, some of the Azkar or remembrance of Allah that you can read 100 times a day, 10 times a day, and so on in order to get closer to Allah. Those are all important, but these are some of the practical things, very easy, that I've come up with that you can do. Create these habits on a daily basis, and inshallah, even after we get out of this whole lockdown, we will have these habits and we can daily, get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because we had built these habits during a time when we had a lot more time on our hands, when it was a lot flexible upon us. So stay tuned. We'll be talking about top 10 things that we can do in this time to get closer to Allah. All right, welcome back, guys. So if this is the first time you're coming on this channel, just a reminder that I talk a lot about productivity, fitness, relationship, how to hang out with your family. There's a lot of things that we talk about. If you don't want to miss out on any of these reminders, these short videos, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you get reminders as I come up with new videos. So number one on the list is praying in Jammah. Let's face it. Right now, anytime you had to go to the masjid, a lot of times you would skip it because it will take you, let's say, 10 or 15 minutes to get there, 10 to 15 minutes come back. Now you just get up, make wudu, and start praying. Take advantage of this time. Start praying Jammah with your family. Basically, it's a lot more easier now. Grab your family. Don't pray by yourself. Get your whole family together and pray in Jammah. This is something that I've been doing, and it is amazing because right after the prayer, I talk to my kids, talk to the family, short little reminders. We pray together, we do Azkar together, and it's definitely got me closer to my family than before. Number two on the list is remembering Allah. Now, like I already said, you probably have a huge list of doing Azkar, remembering Allah. So there are remembrance of Allah that I recommend, highly recommend that you memorize. These are the remembrance of morning and evening. Now, I'm not going to give you this whole list right now because I can guarantee it's somewhere on your emails or WhatsApp messages or some of the video links that you've already got. But the easiest way, there's a book called Fortress of Muslim, and it has a section called Remembrancing the Evening and Morning. And morning, right after you wake up, when you're done praying Fajr, just open up the book and start reading all these du'as that are there. It will literally take you no more than 5 minutes. Same thing in the evening, between Asr and Maghrib time, you should recite some of these du'as. They're pretty much the same. Whatever you recite in the morning, almost all of them are the same that you recite at nighttime. If you memorize it, even awesome, because that's the habit that we want to create. The best part about it is when you're driving to work. Once this lockdown is over, now the habit will be built that when you're driving to work, you have already memorized these du'as, and while you're driving to work, you can recite them. And then same thing when you're coming back from work, most likely it will be a time between Asr and Maghrib. Say that, and then you will, of course, gain a lot of reward. Angels who are flying up, they look down and they're seeking the gatherings where Allah's name is being remembered. So imagine that if angels are surrounding us and basically making dua for us because we are remembering Allah. Number three, reading Qur'an. Guys, at least 5 pages a day, and I can guarantee you it will not take you. If you already know how to read Quran at a good speed, then it should not take you more than a couple minutes a page. So within 10 minutes or so, you could read 10 pages or 5 pages of Quran, and within 4 days, there's 20 pages in a juz. So every 4 days or so, you could be finishing up the whole Quran. Now, remember, or finishing up a juz. Now, what we're trying to do is create habits. So don't go all out. Don't say, I'm going to read the whole Quran today. No, you got other things to do. What we want to do is practical habits. Make it a habit right after Fajr Don't do anything. Don't have breakfast, nothing. Remember, right now, you don't have to go to work. You don't have to get in the car and start driving, but get into the habit of reading Qur'an, not just yourself, your children as well. My kids do not get any food until they are done doing their routines, which will include, making your bed, brushing your teeth, and so on, and they have to read. For them, the goal is 2 pages a day. If they're not done reading their 2 pages, they don't get their food. Now, the other part is every single letter that you are going to be reading. So in the case of Alhamdulillah, you have Alif, Lam, Ha, Mim, Dal, right? And then so on. There's so many letters, and each letter is going to give you 10 points, right? 10 reward. That's a lot of reward if you read 5 pages a day. Whatever you can do, but make sure you do not skip reading Qur'an. It will really make you feel happy, will make you feel at ease. These are the words of Allah. Even if you don't understand them, you should understand them. You should read the translation. But just the words of Allah have a huge power. I can tell you, you will feel at peace. Get into the habit of reading Qur'an every day. Number 4, DUHA period, between Fajr and Dhuhr. The best way to look at it is when you look at, okay, this is the sunrise time. There's a time when you can start praying Fajr, but then there's a sunrise time, which is basically, the tip of the sun. You can see it above the horizon. That's it. Now you can't pray Fajr anymore. Wait about 15 to 20 minutes. Now the sun is pretty much at a very high point. That is the time of DUHA. And it goes all the way till a little bit, maybe 10 to 15 minutes before Dhuhr time kicks in. Now, this is something you might not be able to do when you go back to work, but right now take advantage of that. Why is that? Because I'm going to read this hadith. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said that my Khalil, meaning my friend, talking about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, advised me to observe 3 things, and I shall not leave them till I die. What are those 3 things? To observe fasting 3 days every month. Okay, so these are voluntary fast. To offer DUHA prayer, which is what we just talked about, and to offer witr prayer before sleeping. Now, there's a huge reward in praying DUHA prayer. This is something that was advised to Abu Hurairah from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There's other hadith talking about what are the rewards. Do not miss the opportunity of praying this DUHA prayer. Number 5 on the list is 12 sunnahs. So what do I mean by that? We got our 5 daily prayers, but then we also have 12 sunnahs. So 2 before Fajr, 4 before Dhuhr, and 2 after Dhuhr. And then that's 8. Then you have 2 after Maghrib, that's 10, and 2 after Isha, and that is 12. 12 sunnahs a day. Prophet ﷺ is telling us that if you read these 12 sunnahs a day, a palace, a house will be built in Jannah for you. Imagine every single day you're building a palace for yourself. So that's something that you don't want to miss out on. Now, a lot of times we cannot do that when we're working. Why? Because boss will come in, we have a meeting to go to. I only have time to pray my first prayer and I'm walking out. That is fine, but why not create that habit of praying sunnahs? It doesn't take that long. By the way, I actually made a video of how long it takes to pray on a daily basis. Just first prayer and even combined. And in combined, it does not take no more plus or minus an hour max for all 5 daily prayers, including sunnah. So these 12 rak'ahs should not take combined throughout the day more than half an hour. So make sure you take advantage of that. Number 6, Azkar, or remembering Allah after every prayer. A lot of times we have this habit of just praying, say salam, walk out, go do what we're doing. Make sure that you are taking advantage of doing Azkar. Should not take you more than 5 minutes after every prayer. Some of the easy ones, just say astaghfirullah. And then every kid should know the whole subhanallah 33 times, alhamdulillah 33 times, Allahu Akbar 33 times. Then we have, so again, for Fortress of Muslim or apps that you will have, and there's a list of Azkar that you can say in the right after prayer. They should not be very long. Use the book, but memorize them. So later on, once the lockdown is over, while you're praying, right after prayer, you can, you have this habit of reciting these Azkar or remembering Allah right after prayer as well, so you don't miss out on the reward. Number 7, exercise and being healthy. Now, I'm going to read a hadith of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ where he says that the son of Adam does not fill any vessel worse than his stomach. It is enough for the son of Adam to eat a few mouthfuls to keep him going. But if he must, now this is the worst case scenario, if he must, then 1/3 for his food, 1/3 for water, and 1/3 for air. So this is the worst case scenario. Now just compare that with your habits right now. Now, especially in lockdown, I can guarantee you guys are eating more, especially you might be eating more dessert, you have more cravings. This is about building good habits in yourself. So later on, when you're out in your normal routine, you are not craving these things, right? It's about good habits that you can try to control yourself. And the other part is about your health in general. Prophet ﷺ said that there are two blessings which many people do not make the most of and thus lose out on the reward. What are they? Good health and free time. Guarantee you have a lot more free time. If you're telling me you're more busy than you were before, you're doing something wrong. Eat healthy, don't eat too much, and exercise. There's so many programs out there on YouTube. Brothers, make sure you find a program which only has guys in them, right? Not girls with small clothes. Follow them, follow along those videos, exercise, and you don't need to go to gym. Body weight exercises, push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, squats, so many things that you can do using your body weight in order to get healthy, get strong, because as you know, Malik Pai always reminds you, strong believer is better than a weak believer. Number 8, memorizing Qur'an. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that it will be said to the companion of the Qur'an. Who are the companion of the Qur'an? The ones who are memorizing Qur'an, the one who act upon the Qur'an. This is on the day of judgment, okay? Let's say their place of Jannah has already been decided. They're level 1. Now, it will be said to him, recite and rise in status. So as they're reciting, until as much they know of the Qur'an, that's how high your status is going to get. How beautiful is that? More Qur'an you memorize, the more your status of in Jannah will be raised. So memorize 1 ayah a day, 2 ayahs a day, but the more you know, the higher your status in Jannah. One of the habits that we want to build right now are your nighttime routine, which is simply remembering Allah right before going to sleep. Now, this is a different set of du'as than the ones that you're supposed to write in the morning and evening. So there's a section in these apps or Fortress of the Muslim book, which talks about what are some of the things that you can recite right before going to sleep. A simple one, Ayatul Kursi. And then reading Quls. I have this habit that I go around, tell my kids, hey, did you guys read the Quls? And they'll be like, oh, no, we didn't, sorry. And then they read their Quls. What does that mean? Basically, the 3 Quls that we know, the last 3 Quls, Qul huwallahu ahad, Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq, Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. These 3 surahs, you basically recite them in your hand, dry spit, right? And then you rub your body. And basically, that will protect you as well. Ayatul Kursi, an angel will be guarding you all night. So there's other small azkar, but these are the 2 simple ones that you can create this habit in your daily lives to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And last but not least, number 10, something that I look forward to is lectures, right? Knowledge seeking, but lectures with your family. There's so many lectures going on. Try to stay connected with your local community by attending these live seminars. Like my local imam has a live seminar every night on Facebook, right? So he goes live, we attend that, we listen to short reminders, no more than 15 minutes, right? You don't want 2-hour lectures. Please, please, parents, you're gonna basically destroy your kids by saying, hey, there's a conference happening, it's a 2-hour long, so-and-so institute is doing that. Don't do that, okay? Now, if you can attend it, awesome. But if it's a family time, let's get together and listen to a reminder. It should not be more than 15 to 20 minutes. So this is it. These are the top 10 actions that we can take, top 10 habits that we can build in our lives. So once we are out of the lockdown, we will continuously doing these because these are habits, not just some things that we did during lockdown, but these are habits that we have built. So even after lockdown, we can continuously get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, gain His reward and His pleasure. This is Malik Pai. Stay strong, stay safe. Inshallah, we'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.